I had this dream at one point of being able to be the guy, the evil Lord Drax or something like that in a James Bond movie.
Yes.
Because I've always wanted to deliver this line. Before I kill you, Mr. Bond, perhaps you'd like a tour of my installation. Notice the air conditioning ducts. Wide enough for a man to crawl through. Unfortunately, you will not have that opportunity. Notice, too, the red button, that wind push will start an unstoppable self-destruct mechanism that will destroy I have built and worked for. You will not have the opportunity to press that red button, Mr. Bond. That's the thing I'd love to be able to. But they never give me the job, because it would always sound like this. Before I kill you, Mr. Bond. Never works out.
This is me.
This is Daniel.
This is Andrew.
Speaking of extreme sports, so you just got done. How long were you on the wall for, do you think?
Oh, not long. It was probably at least halfway through the class before we got on the wall, so maybe like half an hour or something.
Did they assign you someone to work with?
Yeah, it was like a guided class, so there was a dude there, and then there was 4 of us in it, and so each of us took turns.
Awesome.
But yeah, the source is sweet. It's a cool spot.
Yeah.
I've always kind of wanted to check it out. Downtown is 12 minutes away, and to me, that's just too much.
Just too much.
It's pretty pathetic.
It's not just that it's too much; it's the parking too.
It is.
The parking is so. I'm sure for people more accustomed to driving in dense metropolitan areas and finding parking and street parking and stuff, it's just a comfort zone thing. But it's a comfort zone thing that I haven't established yet, and it's enough to make me not want to do it.
Gotcha. Sunday afternoon. There was nobody down there, so it was pretty sweet.
True.
Yep.
We were down there yesterday for my sister-in-law's birthday party, and honestly, it was kind of busy, but only because the 4 days of Aloha are going on at Esther Short Park, and so a lot of the parking, I think, was centralized around getting to that event, and we were in the outskirts of that. And the restaurant we were in, which I would assume was normally pretty full, which is the Smoke and Oak, was pretty
Smoke and Oak.
Pretty easy to get into and get a spot.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm trying not to let that be a barrier just going downtown, but
good for you. And
also, especially in this period where I don't have to get up and move around other than to get stuff done, so I'm like, what's something that will be entertaining enough to keep me being physical?
Yes.
I definitely need something.
And it's such an interesting physical sport because there's so much strategy involved. And I like a sport that is mostly self-competitive, self-gauging. You can set your own tempo, and you can just approach the different, especially in an interior climbing wall. The lanes are considered and laid out, and there's
Plus,
something that you can solve.
You don't need a team to do it,
right.
I can just show up. I don't even need a person at this point. Like, they have the auto belay things, which is kind of what I'm trying to figure on using, which seems cool. Just show up and do what I want.
Have you ever used one of those?
No, I have not.
So there's the part about the auto belay that is the most interesting is the first time I was using one and I got to the top of the lane. I said, well, how do I get down? And they said, you just have to let go. Because you have to release, and then there's a little bit of free fall before it catches you.
Right.
There's actually more, like being on a belay, you could say, I forget, it's just like belay on and belay off or whatever.
And then they take your weight.
They take your weight, that's right. And so you could like rest into it.
Yeah.
You can't do that on the auto.
Right.
Because it only activates once there's
which is also a thrill.
Oh, dude,
But we did the zipline course at Skamania, and that's part of them is you're up on some platform, and to get to the next one, you got to take the auto belay down, and then so you just had to step off the edge, basically.
Awesome.
Which was cool. Yeah.
I love like a zip line or a ropes course or stuff.
They have a cool one at Skamania.
Is it like a ropes course too?
They have 2 different sections. One's a ropes course that has like little things that you're going.
Obstacles?
They have like a canoe in the air that you like walk across and stuff, and then they have the zip line, which like takes you out from the lodge and into the woods and then back, which was really cool.
Did you do both or just?
No, we just did the zip line, and it was 2021 maybe, and we did it in masks, which was kind of lame, but it was whatever. It was still cool.
It probably prevented you from swallowing bugs.
Yeah, that's true.
While swinging through the canopy.
Yeah. But that's my physical adventures, I guess.
That's cool.
Recently.
I got some coming up.
Yeah, what do you got?
Yeah, so this week I usually go on a camping trip with my dad every year.
Yep, yeah.
And this kind of parallels something that you just did, I think.
Yeah, my little motorcycle trip.
Yeah, so my dad and I go kayak camping in Colombia, and we have at this point several spots that are within a pretty easy access. We don't have to rely on anybody to drop us off somewhere and then pick us up anywhere. We can just we throw the boats onto Kylie's vehicle. She drops us off as she goes to work.
Cool.
Because the place that we launch from, which is the Henry J. Kaiser Shipyard Memorial Boat Launch, next to Marine Park, she drops us off there, and then it's like a 2-minute drive to her work from there.
Cool.
It's just right next door. And then we go up. We'll probably camp on the very west end of Government, which is Lemon Island. There's a little spot there that we like, and then maybe the next day go up to our next most interesting spot, which is on Lady Island, which is where the Washougal, basically the Camas Slough, where the Washougal meets the Columbia.
Gotcha. How many days do you guys go for?
3.
Okay, that's good. That's pretty good, I think.
It's decent.
Yeah.
They used to be like week-long treks, and it was amazing, but anymore, especially every other year or so, I could tack on a few extra days, but I've already taken some days from work, and
sure, it's physically taxing.
It is physically.
It's one of those
taxing.
like vacations you have to take a break from afterwards.
Yeah, I'm taking Thursday, Friday off, and then we're actually coming back on Saturday, like mid-Saturday, and Kylie's gonna pick us up. And that gives me the rest of Saturday and all of Sunday to recover before going back to my physically strenuous job.
Right. Is it like a double man kayak, or you guys have single kayaks you take out? Or?
We have singles.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, the old Pungo 1000s.
Oh, wow. We have the Pelican, whatever they are. The Pelican Costco's thousands.
Oh, the Pelican Costco's.
Yeah.
I once tried to buy a Pelican or a kayak from Costco one time for work because we do aquatic survey for noxious weeds, as well as we need them to access some of our sites occasionally. And we needed new boats. We got clearance. We went to Costco because they're cheap there, or at least they're on sale. And then we carried, I think, 2 boats through the store and dropped them on the conveyor thing, got them up, and presented the company card, and they said, "Oh, we don't
take credit cards.
We don't take
Master."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's like, well, this is what we have. This is what my agency uses,
right?
And we have a membership with y'all.
Yeah,
this is our
what? That's funny.
So what? So then we had to carry the boats back through the store. There was a line of people giving us crap. It was
that is funny.
It was quite fun.
Yeah, we had people gave us crap when we were buying them too. Some lady was like, "I hope you're not taking those in the ocean." I'm like, dude, who are you? I'm gonna do whatever I want. I'm gonna go put this in the back of your car.
Exactly. And then I hope you have a pool in your backyard.
Yeah, what in the world?
And then I hope you have an extra bedroom. And also, do you need another
you just
child?
Adopted me, sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Mom?
Oh man, yeah. People are so weird.
People are weird.
Just want to chime in, I guess.
Yeah, was she like legitimately concerned?
Yeah.
Did she take
we were
you
just
by
like,
her collar?
We were like, who is this lady? She doesn't work here. She just walked up to us.
Yeah, you weren't standing there a second ago.
Just giving people advice on their purchases, I guess.
Yeah.
Which, you know.
She was sitting in the furniture section of Costco watching you, just waiting
for an opportunity.
Yeah.
Oh, brother. But yeah, we haven't taken them out in a while. We really want to. I just got the truck, and I just did this motorcycle trip, and for the first time put my bike in there by myself.
How'd you do that?
Just so stressful. Just ramps.
Oh.
So you get it started, and you get 2 ramps next to each other, and you just walk next to it. Walk it up into the back.
You don't ride it. I guess that would be insane.
You could,
but also extreme as hell, brother.
If something went bad, it'd be really bad.
It'd be the worst.
You just go straight into the back window or something.
Mm-hmm.
But you start it in case it gets wrong, so you can give it a little gas to go back up. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did it by myself, and I was sweating buckets doing it. And then you just gotta strap it in and all that shit. And I was like, oh my god, I also have not done this with my straps and blah blah blah.
Whoa.
So it's really stressful, but I figured out a bunch of stuff, and then when I got there, I had a bunch of old men go, "Oh, you got to do it this way, do this, you know." So they gave me the hot tips, and I took pictures of how they had it all rigged up. And
old men are so good with straps.
Yes, it's so true. Yeah, I even texted my dad. I was like, "I hate ratchet straps. They're so stupid." But it's because mine are dumb Amazon ones with an incredible amount of extra strap to deal with. Oh, sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was stressful. But
we use a lot of straps at my work, and it took me a long time to get used to them.
Yeah.
Like we were hiring people on who were better with the straps than I was, and I was just kind of like peering over their shoulder at how they did their
I'm going to watch you do it. Make sure you know how.
Exactly. I do that more often than I care to admit.
That's what being in charge is about sometimes. You're not going to have everything figured out. You have those gaps.
Plenty of gaps.
But
I interrupted you. You were talking about
no, that trip was sweet, and I figured out how the straps work and how I'm going to actually put the kayaks in the back of the truck when we go. But
nice.
So we got to get a couple trips in before the summer ends, I think.
Do you know where you want to go?
I want to do Lacamas again. I love Lacamas.
Lacamas is
nice. Really calm.
Yeah.
And then you get to go into that bridge to go into the other section, which is fun.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah, I don't know. We've done Tillamook before, like Tillamook Bay, which is cool. It has a ton of seals in it. That is cool and also terrifying.
Yes.
Mandy was just like yelling at him the whole time because they kept popping up next to us. She's like, "I see you."
Yeah, I love that.
I'm watching. Yeah, that's cool though.
I used to get a lot out of that, having the seals pop up and take a look at me.
Yeah.
Much like the whales in Castaway.
Yeah, there you go. Do we want that one or
do we?
I mean, I'm very warm. I don't know if we can hear it.
It's
probably fine.
Let's try it.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, it's summer. Hey everybody, we just got done with 100-degree weather.
Oh my god.
Now we're in the 80s.
Yeah.
So if you hear a in the back room, it's
Daniel
it's
doing that
actually
sound,
me.
But
whenever
but the air conditioner, that's probably the sound you hear.
Yeah, there's probably also that. But then
Daniel forgets that he's not alone sometimes. And then the sounds come out. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I talk at my imaginary volleyball.
I guess okay. So I guess couple more things from the trip. Just these are like, it's these trips. I'm sure it's the same for you too, where it's like now I have this like incredible period of introspection. Like you just can't help but have that quiet to process all your stuff.
While you're in the midst of whatever like your ride is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like okay, everything's locked in. I'm just riding now.
Yes.
I'm just following these dudes.
That's the most important part to me.
Awesome. Yeah.
Is the meditative aspect.
Yeah. So I knew that was coming.
But you're like watching your front wheel and you're just watching for whatever the obstacles are and stuff.
But you're in the groove.
Yep.
Got your music going or whatever.
Yes.
I listened to us on the ride. I listened to Matt's podcast on the ride. But I was like really in the headspace because this trip was different than the last couple of years we've done. This is the third year in a row that we've done these like Prineville trips. Well, we got out like a day before the fire started, which was nuts. Last year we were leaving as the fires were starting, so the gorge was on fire. We got blocked out of leaving. Was it Happy Valley or Warm Springs?
My gosh.
They had blocked off because the fires. We had to turn around and go back up to the gorge and then through, and there was fires everywhere.
Holy
so
shit.
We were super lucky about that.
Yeah.
But the past years have been maybe like 5 of us out there, which has been amazing. I'm riding with my dad. I'm riding with my uncle, their cousin.
Jim?
Who's Jim?
Uncle Jim?
Uncle Jim.
It's
Dave, Dan, and Daryl, the D's. And their parents are Don and Dee.
Who's the James Bond uncle?
Joe.
Joe's
on my mom's side.
Oh, okay.
So my mom's cousin actually went. It's my dad's side puts this thing on.
Oh, this is the Morse Aerospace Engineering.
Yes,
collective.
yeah, those Morses. Yes. The ones that we talked about that too. I was like, my dad told me you guys used to shoot a bow and arrow straight into the sky and then watch to see it fall down. They're like, yeah, we did.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And he goes, what you really do, my Uncle Dave goes, what you really do is you get an army man with a parachute, you shoot him up into the air, and then you get your BB gun and shoot him out of the sky.
I don't think I played right when I was a kid.
Dude, genius. Yeah. It's so funny. But yeah, so this year was different. It was 32 riders. There was like 50 people on site.
Holy crap.
My cousin Hannah is a registered nurse, and she was there on site to be like our medic, and she stopped in different spots to give us water and shit.
Was she our in the field bond correspondent?
No, that's also my mom's side.
Okay.
Aaron. And then
that must be Joe's daughter.
Joe's daughter. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. My other cousin Esther was like catering, and so they had a big catering van, and they did the meals and met us out in different places for lunch or whatever.
Whoa.
She told me she listens to the podcast.
No
which is
way.
Super cool. Shout out Esther.
Hey, Esther.
She said she listens to it while she's gardening. So hopefully that's happening right now.
Look, you got a sprout come. Oh, look at that. That's no. Oh wait, no, it's summer. Oh man, you might. Yeah, you missed a spot. You got to water that one, and good.
Have you ever had your podcast talk to you before, Esther?
Yeah, this is.
There you go.
Hey, Esther. Hey, sorry, I thought you were Aaron.
Yeah. So yeah, that was cool, but it was also like this huge amount of family that I have not interacted with in a long time, maybe 15 years. I hadn't seen a bunch of these people. So it was very really emotionally. It was a lot to deal with.
Like a reunion.
You know, it was basically like a family reunion. Yeah.
Holy crap.
It was really cool. And my grandparents live there for now. We're working on moving them to Vancouver. I'm not doing anything.
Oh,
my parents are working on
the
moving
Church
them
of
to
Godzilla.
Vancouver. That's also my mom's side. They're the Yakima.
I know so
Zilla
much about
ones.
your mom's
That's so
side.
funny. Yeah. Well, honestly, my mom's side is who I've interacted with the most, like regularly. My dad's side, I just kind of stopped going out there after a certain election started happening, and honestly, it was my grandma a lot.
Yeah.
It was like I just don't want to interact with that, which kind of sucks. But
Your grandma is a Trumper?
Oh, big time. They found that she's been donating a ton of money that they don't have, and on and on and on.
Oh.
So.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, she had a cool picture of Barack Obama on her fridge that had him in like a witch doctor outfit with like a bone through his nose. And, they had a Ronald Reagan calendar.
Whoa. You're painting a picture here.
Yeah, they live in Prineville. Like they're
what
in
do
the
you
perfect
expect?
spot, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool to see everybody. But I had this moment of writing, and I was just like thinking about family and all this stuff, and I was like, oh my god, when Daryl, my dad, dies, which will happen, I'm taking some of his ashes out here to the desert. And I was just like crying in my helmet, like, like, what am I doing? But like, you know, it's real, like real life. Like,
it's good to consider that stuff ahead of time, and it's really special that dawned on you, because it's not a sad thing; it's a respect thing.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
And it's an inevitability. Part of my kayak trip next week will be bringing my mother's ashes to some of our favorite places.
Incredible, yeah.
Yeah,
that's gonna be awesome.
And it dawned on me that it's kind of not the opposite, but it's a little different than bringing Daryl's ashes to a place that he so dearly treasures. This is the only way my mom could be physically with us in these spaces.
That's cool.
She never ever would have been there her whole life, and now we are physically bringing parts of her to lay to rest, to honor the spaces that we love.
Damn, that's gonna be special.
I think
and
so.
like healing, I think too.
I think so it's gonna be a lot.
Yeah, and then you're gonna start thinking about your dad. And
oh, don't even get me started on that. Every time he smokes a cigarette.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But the fact that when you're writing, I'm sure it's so much like when I'm in my kayak on a long trip. I'm just watching the nose of my boat and putting it at the right place for each wave, so I could cut it, and I get the perfect cut as I'm going. And when I'm doing that, I just kind of lose myself in the action, and my mind either goes blank or just goes to infinity.
Yeah.
And
it also helps if you have like a weed gummy before you
I almost always do.
Yeah.
It's the perfect combination of caffeine, a bit of a weed gummy, and some nicotine, because I only smoke cigars when I'm on my river trips.
Yeah.
And we stop.
Like Clint Eastwood.
I smoke my Clint Eastwood cigars because I only started because I would go on road trips with one of my best friends right out of high school, and he turned me on to these tightly twisted Kentucky cheroot cigars. And now anytime I go on any sort of trip, it just puts me in the exact right headspace nostalgically, but also, I don't know, the nicotine is probably pretty fun too. And it limits my smoking intake to only very specific key times.
Yeah, that's cool. Makes it a little more special, and makes the trip a little bit more special. And yeah, that's cool.
I had this really epic moment when Dad and I were on one of our river trips. We were right underneath the bridge, the Astoria Bridge, and we're getting ready for the 8-mile jog from the last little nook before the bridge to what is Rice Island. It's an island. It's a cormorant rookery northeast of Astoria, and we camp there. We try and have as little footprint as possible so as not to cause any stirs within the bird population. I want to be allies with the birds. I do not want to be their enemy.
I like cormorants.
So do I.
Nice.
So I was hopping. My dad hops in, and the waves are crashing in. So we're crashing through the waves to get going. And I put in my headphones because I know we have a long way to go. And I turn it on, and it Bob Dylan starts. A Hard Rain's Gonna Fall,
Hell
which
yeah.
I love that song, but at that point it wasn't one of my favorites. Now I think it's my favorite Bob Dylan song and probably one of the greatest songs ever made.
Awesome.
Because of how evocative the lyrics are. And so as I'm crashing through the waves, that song starts hitting me, and so did some other stuff started to kick in.
Sure.
And it was just this amazingly epic moment that's
so cool.
going to stay with me forever.
Yeah, I love when that happens.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of a couple of those, but one was, so when you leave my uncle's property, you turn left and it's desert. You turn right and it's forest, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But you end up going through this like greenery forest, and one of the days we did a ride, we went into the forest, and it's like a relief, it's like we're not in the beating sun anymore. And like you said, things are hitting you, and the Red Dead Redemption like soundtrack came up. It's like, this is amazing. I was like jumping up and down on my bike and moving around. It was like perfect. Yeah,
that's like
so
the
cool.
leaf on the wind moment.
It's funny that you say getting into like the groove of the waves. Right when I get on the road, usually I'll give it like a little, just kind of wiggle back and forth with my tires and get into that groove of the road.
Do you really?
Yeah,
Just to
I kind of
feel
think
it?
of surfing a little bit when I'm riding a motorcycle.
I mean, it's probably the closest thing to
well, I don't know,
skateboarding maybe.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, that's another thing I would physically like. If we went somewhere, like surfing is one of those things. Like, damn, I would love to try.
I tried it for the first time this year.
Oh, cool.
And when we went to Hawaii, and it was so much fun.
Yeah,
it was so much fun.
There's 2 documentaries that have been with me like my whole life, and one of them is On Any Sunday, which is about motorcycling, and the same guy made Endless Summer, which is about surfing.
Awesome.
And I've had in the back of my head my entire life of like, I have to do this. Just that like being out on the water. It sounds so cool.
That was where I was. I never sought it out, but I promised myself. I do this with a lot of things. I promised myself, if the opportunity ever presents itself in a realistic way, I have to go for it.
That's cool.
And that's
Surfing's
how I ended up surfing. Yeah, that was my one thing when we were talking about, okay, what are we gonna do? Who wants to do what when we're in Hawaii? I said, well, this is the one thing that I want.
That's cool.
I want to take a surfing class. And my brother and sister-in-law and Kylie were all together, and we all got up on the board. And
cool.
Yeah, it was good.
That's awesome. Did you ever like a ride on a wave?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, a few times.
That's cool.
Yeah, I didn't have the best board for training purposes. All the other boards had very clear lines and stuff to help you stay centered, and so you could just see out of the corner of your eye roughly. And mine was more just like scratched up single color, and I tried to set like my areas, but I wasn't great at like landing it, and I was hyper fixated on listening to the instructor when he was telling me like form. I was trying to maximize my form. Actually, I did less well than my brother and sister-in-law, who
weren't thinking about it as much.
Yeah, they were just getting up and doing whatever and trying to stay up.
Yeah.
Whereas every time I tried to do it, I was like trying to be keenly aware of, okay, then I do this, and then I do this, and then I move my body in this way. But I think so much of that is just like, this is the best form.
Once you can figure it out, here's what it should look like, cleaned up.
Yes, but until you're there, and maybe I think if I had more goes and if I had more days and just runs, if I had more runs, I would eventually get it. Yeah, for sure. It's just one of those.
You know who should have gotten into surfing? Is Tom Hanks. Little Chuck.
He should have gone surfing.
Had a little more fun.
Yeah, that would have been more fun.
Do you want to try to do the intro?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I thought for some reason that you were making
a
reference.
Do we want to go into the intro?
If you were making a reference to, like, we had pre-planned some sort of musical interlude to welcome us into the show.
Hello.
So,
awesome.
Welcome to the Rekindling Our Bonds with Daniel Ebert and Andrew Morse.
Hello.
A.K.A. Doug.
Yep.
We are in a special episode that we refer to as Rushing for More, in which Doug and I are having conversations about movies that are potentially my favorite movies. We have already done, in this miniseries, we have done Legend, Ridley Scott's Legend, the director's cut, as well as Wolfgang Peterson.
He keeps popping up for me.
Me too.
It's nuts.
Me too. Troy popped up. I was like, this is Wolfgang Peterson?
Hilarious.
Wolfgang Peterson. Enemy Mine.
Uh-huh.
But today we have a very special Castaway.
Oh, nice.
In which we are discussing one of my favorites, Castaway. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first film we've spoken about in which both of us have substantial history with.
Sure. I'd seen Legend.
Yeah.
I think once.
Yeah.
But I've seen this one a good amount of times.
Yeah.
And have at least one or two, like, very significant viewings that were, like, I was completely in it emotionally. You know?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is interesting because I think we'll be able to, and this is going to help me a lot as well, because I have a lot of thoughts about this movie, and there's, like, elements of this movie that at times I've thought I didn't like as much and would really like to speak with you about, and maybe see where you see certain things. But in this most recent watch, I actually finally listened to the audio commentary.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I looked to see if YouTube had it, and it didn't.
Oh, well, most of it, to be perfectly frank, most of it was about the sound design of the film, which was intriguing. I don't think of this as a sound design film, but it is.
There's not a lot of music.
Intrinsically a sound design film.
Yeah.
For a lot of reasons that we can kind of get into moving forward. But, so yeah, just my relationship with this movie is, I was thinking about it this morning. When we spoke about Legend, I was kind of referring to that as a movie that I became interested in because my mom had liked that movie, and she steered me towards it. Enemy Mine, very similar thing, but from the direction of my father. And Castaway also is a shared favorite between my dad and myself.
Interesting.
But it is unique because it came out in the year 2000. I was 12 years old. Our first viewings of the film were at the same time.
Like, you guys saw it together?
We saw it together. That's the better way to say it.
That's cool. Yeah. Maybe you guys were in a different room. Okay, see you in 2 hours.
Catch you later. We didn't see it in the theater or anything. Usually we probably rented it at that time. And so it became a shared favorite.
It's 2000. I mean, I watched some interviews with Hanks and some behind-the-scenes stuff, and he mentions, like, this is one of his first big movies that's you can watch it whenever. Because DVD has happened.
Whoa.
Because 99, right, is...
Yeah, I
think Matrix is the first movie to get put on DVD.
Uh-huh.
And so it's right then. Yeah, and he's like, people could just pull it up and watch it multiple times, which was a completely different thing than people were used to. I mean, VHS, sure.
It was one of my first DVDs, too.
Cool.
Yeah, I bought it when the American Family Home Video went out of business in Camas.
Camas, yeah, cool. I used to live right there.
Yeah, I bought that. That's where I got my first copy of Reservoir Dogs, which is probably the very copy that I had been renting from there.
Yeah, they used to have oh shoot, what is that Terry Gilliam movie with Johnny Depp? Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Yes.
Poster out front. I remember seeing that every time we went and being like, what in the world is that?
I think that might have defined my expectations for that movie when I was a kid before I even truly watched it.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Did you get anything else there?
Yes. I think I got...
Is this all when they were going out of business?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Well, actually, before they went out of business, I bought Idiocracy there.
Cool.
You might have been with me. It was either you and me or Tucker and me. I wanted to show... I think you showed... No, it wasn't you because you showed me Idiocracy.
Yeah, because I remember who showed it to me.
And then I went and I wanted to show it to my... to Tucker and my family. So we went there to rent it. And I had it in my hand. for like a $3 rental, and then I turned around and there it was for sale for $2.
What?
So I just, bought it.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And I think I got my childhood copy of
the most like prescient movie of all time, maybe Idiocracy.
Yeah, the amount
Predicted
of
Crocs,
small vehicles with dildos on them.
Yeah,
that
that's actually the first thing I thought of when you said family. It's like, I bet they love the dildos they're seeing.
They did. Yes. I do not come from cultured stock. I come from the stock that can deeply, deeply appreciate a guitar army.
Yeah.
And Dwayne Camacho, Mountain Dew, whatever, the president of the United States of America. Go away, Baton.
Yep. Yeah, what a good movie.
What a good movie.
Damn.
Yeah. And I think I got Little Nemo.
Oh, interesting.
Which I used to rent from there.
Yeah, that's cool.
Those are the ones I remember.
That's cool.
Oh, no, Triplets of Belleville.
Oh, also cool.
Yeah, very good movie.
I haven't seen that in so long.
Yeah, me too. I do a rewatch. What's your relationship with this?
Damn, I do not remember the first time I saw it. It's probably with my parents as well at home. But it is one of Mandy's favorite movies.
Awesome.
Her quote I got was, "It's one of those top of the pile, tippy top of the mountain movies." As far as her favorites, and she says, I ask her all the time, like when we watch a movie, and I'm like, oh, I gotta put this on Letterboxd. Your relationship, I don't know. Art is so weird. It's like 2 hours is so much art. And how are you going to put a stamp on that says, this is how much I appreciate this?
Yeah.
Where it's like, it moves around so much in your head and whatever. But so I always include her in the conversation. Like, what would you give this?
Wonderful.
And before, I didn't even ask her. And she's like, this is a 5-star movie. Yeah.
100%.
So I think the most impactful time I've had watching it was with her, probably in our old apartment. And I was just like locked in. Like it is so intense.
Yeah.
And like you really are with Chuck on this like
the whole time.
This journey. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and
Top
this was the
pile.
first time. I don't think it's her favorite movie of all time, but I think she'd probably put it in her top 10 easy.
Oh yeah.
Top 5 maybe.
How about her top 4?
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Let's find out.
Yeah.
I was like, I could record you saying something about Castaway and put it in there if you want. And she's like, I don't know about that.
Okay.
So this is her first. I'm doing it for her.
Oh.
This is her toe in the water.
Yeah, you are her advocate in the Castaway conversation. So what was it? Top of the pile, tippy top of the mountain.
Top of the mountain. Yeah.
Did you remind her that the tippy top of the mountain is where people try to hang themselves?
That's true. Oh boy.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
That is true. But this is also for this podcast, the first one that I watched with her. Like we actually watched it together, which was super fun. Yeah.
And was she invested again?
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah. She won't admit it now, but she cried at the end.
Of course.
It's very hard not to at the very end.
It's one of the most powerful scenes in any movie.
Yeah. Well,
I truly believe.
But the part with Helen, or what's her name?
Helen Hunt.
Is it Helen Hunt?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that part.
Yep.
Right.
100%.
Fucking.
It destroys me.
Yeah.
And
devastating.
we could get into it, but one of the aspects of this film that I truly appreciate is even though Helen Hunt is only in it for like 15 minutes of screen time, her performance is so naturalistic and perfect.
You believe them as like a couple.
Their chemistry is incredible.
She's in one scene at the beginning, right?
Well, no, she's in several.
Gotcha.
So she's. You see her at the college printing her dissertation. Yep. That's when he just stares at her.
Yeah.
And then they dance. Then they are together in bed, and then they are at the party, and then they go to the airport, and then that's the last.
See her until the end. Okay.
But she's in one stretch.
Gotcha. Yeah, she's very impactful. Yeah, you believe him, and then that difference of. Then and then the second half of the movie when you see her too, it's believable that
it's extremely
she would progress into this person.
Yes. So we could start kind of going through it a little, picking at it. I think personally the two densest portions of this film are the very first part and then the very last part, but the rest of the movie is extremely impactful. I just think that as far as the economy of storytelling,
there's a lot of setup and then there's a lot of payoff at the end.
It's extremely effective as well, efficient and effective. There's some themes that I want to consider because these are themes of the aspect of this film that I think about a lot, and I would love to get your opinion on so we could talk through, because on this most recent rewatch, after I actually wrote them down, I kind of have reckoned with some of them. So one of the themes is the theme of time, as is mentioned pretty early on. Chuck's injuries, which is kind of interesting. Kelly's love for Chuck, and of course the reciprocal Chuck's love for Kelly, and Helen Kelly, Helen Hunt's incredible performance. His history with sailing, Bettina.
Wait, what was the last one?
Bettina. Dick and Bettina. Bettina is sculptor.
Okay, so this is the first time I noticed something too.
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
The whale stuff.
Interesting.
Wilson is an externalized inner monologue, and in watching an established, intelligent, practical man learn in a logical progression. That's probably
like the satisfying thing about it. Yeah,
it is, and there's a little bit about that. But so Chuck Nolan is our principal character, played by Tom Hanks.
Yep.
We don't start with Chuck. We are established with Chuck a little later on. It opens in Russia. No, I'm sorry. It opens at the crossroads and then goes to Dick and Bettina's ranch, where Bettina is sculpting. The FedEx guy clearly has some sort of relationship with her, in which, like on a acquaintance or a friend basis, because he comes often enough to take packages. There's a package sitting to the side that has her catchphrase, her
logo or whatever.
Her logo, which is the angel wings, this time painted in pink. It's the first time I ever noticed the FedEx guy says, "Oh, you went with the pink this time."
Interesting, yeah.
Which
it's like angel wings with rings around it. The rings like really made me think of Metropolis.
Oh, sure.
The
my
rings,
gosh, yes.
Yeah, which I, completely unrelated, but just visually, that's what triggered. It's also the first time I noticed that it was Dick and Bettina.
Yes.
And then at the end, it's not.
It's just Bettina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was cool.
And of course she's a sculptor, so of course she can get up there and just like
just rip it off.
Yeah, cut it off.
Cut it out, yep.
She's a metalworking sculptor, I should say. So then we follow this packet, and he asks, "Hey, where's it going?" And she says, "It's snowbound." And so then we Elvis music. Oh,
yeah, that part's so cool.
It's showing the pile of her CDs, and it's playing Elvis music.
Oh, interesting.
Which is a little foreshadowing. It's foreshadowing for the Chuck character, but it's also foreshadowing kind of towards the end as well. We follow the package into...
like a pack. It's not POV, but it's like the camera's like taped to the package or something. You know? It's awesome. I love
package cam.
Yeah. It's very like commercial kind of coded,
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, but very cool.
FedEx package. Oh, and I should say, listening to the audio commentary, Robert Zemeckis says that they didn't give FedEx a cent for this. This is not product placement. They came to FedEx and says, "Here's our idea." They didn't want to just come up with some fictional delivery company because they thought it would be just enough to take the audience outside of the fiction. They wanted to be as grounded and realistic a film as possible. And so then just using FedEx, once they presented the idea to FedEx, and even the plane crash scene, they were like, whoa! But then they saw how positive generally it is to FedEx.
The crash has nothing to do with them. Like, it's just a thing that happened.
Yeah.
Do you know the origins of the story of the movie?
Yeah, a little. All I caught was, and hopefully you could fill this in, was it was idea of Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks says, I want to do a story about what it's like to be stranded on an island, like what it's really like.
Yeah.
Do you know anything more than that?
So I know he read an article in something, and it was about FedEx and just their logistics. And they were saying there's 2 planes that take off every night at 2 a.m. and they are going from here to here. And one goes from LA to whatever, and the other one comes from there back to LA. And he was like, well, what if one of those crashes in the middle of nowhere?
Whoa.
And then was like, that'd be cool to do like a desert island story. Like
awesome.
So he took it to this writer, who I have his name written down somewhere. Oh shoot, what is his name? Bob. Maybe it's not. I'm thinking Bob Gale because of Back to the Future.
I think it's like Michael or Mitchell. I just read that on the Wikipedia.
Oh, William Boyles Jr.
Oh,
there you go. So he read the article. He Oh, the writer guy he was working with. I don't know how they know each other, but he's a Vietnam vet. He wrote Apollo 13. That's probably why.
Oh.
He wrote the Tim Burton Planet of the Apes, the Polar Express,
Sick.
Zemeckis, Jarhead, and then Flag of Our Fathers.
Nice.
So he's very like military kind of based kind of guy. But they worked on it together. Tom Hanks worked on this movie for 4 years. The shooting took, I can't remember, a year and a half or whatever it is, 2 years.
And they did it in 2 parts.
Right. So he hired survivalists to take the writer out on a recce and teach him how to make fire and build a shelter and all this stuff, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's so genius.
That's very awesome.
And then he's like, "Oh, here's the story: is how do you make fire on an island? How do you? There's so much drama and all that stuff. But then to actually take him out there and be like, here are the practical like problems, like is genius.
Yes.
There's another fun fact about that. I think we'll wait for later.
Definitely.
But, okay.
Are you about the props?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I had no clue and is wild.
Yeah. I had always just assumed it came about logically through
the
writing, but not. Yeah. So we'll get that.
But yeah, I mean, the theme that I wrote down is like the work obsessed man who's forced to stop and slow down.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's
and time. Also.
That's time. Yeah.
Yep.
So when we arrive at Chuck, he's in a Russian like Moscow FedEx warehouse, and he is clearly some higher level FedEx like efficiency consultant or something. He shows up. The feeling I get is he's a fixer. He shows up to whatever location is having efficiency issues, and he tries to streamline the process.
Yeah.
So the kid, so the package with the pink wings is delivered to Dick, who's with his now Russian girlfriend. And
that's Dick. Okay, the cowboy hat.
Yeah, cowboy hat.
That's funny.
It's from my ex-wife.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And so then, which I could only assume are divorce papers. Dissolution of marriage.
Yeah.
And the same Russian delivery driver hands a long package to Nikolai, a little kid, says, well, go. And so then Nikolai runs through Red Square and runs through the streets of Moscow and gets to this warehouse where you hear, as he's approaching, you hear the speech that Chuck Nolan, Tom Hanks, is giving about the importance of time.
Yeah.
And he says that the relentlessness of time, and we should never commit the sin of turning your back on time.
Damn.
The energy of the camera flowing is meant to set the tone for the energy of Chuck Nolan at this point in his life, his momentum, his pacing. He's a very energetic person who doesn't want to lose track of time, much to the point where he's probably lost track of taking proper care of himself.
Sure. This is somebody who keeps doing this for 5 years and his heart explodes.
Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah.
You know?
He sleeps with his beeper.
Yeah.
He opens the package after greeting Nikolai, and, hey, your first package delivery. That's cute. Gives him a Snickers bar and a CD, and then he hands him an Elvis.
That's cool.
Says a CD player, and
Funny.
hands him an Elvis CD and says, 80 million fans, can't be wrong.
Yeah.
He said he opens it, and it's a stopwatch and stops it at 87 hours. And it's like, well, remember we sent this from Tulsa, Oklahoma to here? 87 hours is a shameful outrage. It is an eternity. The cosmos was created in less time. Wars have been fought and nations toppled in 87 hours. Fortunes made and squandered.
Wow. Yeah.
So he's obsessed with time. Obsessed. But as he's doing so, the Russian translator mentions something that Chuck catches and says, what are you telling them? And he mentions the bicycle story.
Yeah.
It's like, what do they expect from a man who steals a children's bike to deliver a package?
Yeah.
Borrowed. I borrowed the bicycle.
Yeah, he keeps going. His interpretation keeps going past Tom is saying. He's giving commentary, which is funny. Really shot in Moscow, which is cool.
Yeah, in Red Square.
Love that.
The truck breaks down. They have to do the transfer in Red Square. He calls Kelly, and that's the first time he mentions his toothache. He's like, the good news is I'll be home on time. The bad news, I got to see a dentist. This tooth is killing me.
Genius, yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I don't remember if we talked about it, but the week after I lost my job, my teeth started hurting like crazy.
Are you kidding me?
That's like, oh my God. And so when watching this movie, I was like, okay, I get it. I identify with Chuck.
Oh, yeah. You're like locked in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's something that Zemeckis says about the story. So Tom, as a professional, a very generous actor, he would return to Zemeckis now and again and say, "Do you want me to reference the tooth in this scene in a subtle way during my performance?" And they did. They wanted to keep the idea alive of the tooth, but they
not
of the toothache,
be like a main thing.
exactly, not want to distract with it. And so their approach was very illogical one. A logical one was, once he crash lands, we don't really want to reference it until he becomes situated enough that his basic survival needs are met. And so it's like,
that makes sense.
He's not even thinking about it because he's thinking about getting water and food to survive. But once subconsciously he kind of reaches a place of livable, not comfort, but he's recognizes that he will survive, then the tooth starts to become a problem again.
Yeah, it's a little bit like when you're working a ton and then you have a break and you get sick.
Yeah.
Your body's like, okay, at last I'm able to be sick.
Well, yeah, or you losing your job and your teeth start hurting.
Sure.
Is he?
I don't know if that's the same or the opposite, or like, hey, now you can't deal with this, so here's a problem.
Yeah, here you go. Here's more.
Yeah.
Here's more, you dumb bitch.
Yeah. So I mean, already like it's an impressive production. They're in Russia, which is nuts. In 2000 or 99 or whenever they're filming it, 98, who knows? But that's Zemeckis. I feel like he's like such a dark horse.
Agreed.
That was kind of my biggest like interest in going to this, was like, well, I want to learn more about Robert Zemeckis, because I know Back to the Future and Forrest Gump and Christmas Carol and you know, but yeah, super interesting guy. I always kind of thought of him as like one of Spielberg's guys.
I did too.
You know, which he is. It turns out. So
was he Zoetrope?
Research? No, that's Lucas and Coppola. Spielberg's not part of American Zoetrope. Those are the film rats.
Oh,
it's just those two guys are just American Zoetrope.
The sound design guy on the commentary constantly refers to Skywalker Ranch.
Oh, there you go. Cool.
Okay, please continue.
Lucas, yeah. Interesting. So it turns out Zemeckis is a huge Beatles guy. So his first to get into school, film school, he made a music video to a Beatles song and then wrote an essay about the Beatles, and that was his submission. And they're like, your grades are terrible. And so he like begged them, basically. I was like, please, like, you can see what I can do, I just don't like school, but I'll do a good job. So he gets into school with that. His senior project, or his final project, is this like war film that he uses the Great Escape soundtrack on, which is awesome. I'm making a video for this motorcycle trip, and I've just used the On Any Sunday music, because I'm like, I'm not gonna, I could post it publicly, but not, I don't know. Finding music is like insane. The level, like what it increases in your thing if you have like real music in there is worth, I think, not making it public posting. But I read that and I was like, oh, that's cool. I kind of on a similar wavelength, like using what I have. But so he took that, he basically broke into Spielberg's office, ran past his secretary, and was like, please, you have to watch my student film. Like, I want to work in movies. I want to work for you. And Spielberg liked that he was like a go-getter, because Spielberg broke onto the lot when he was a kid.
For John
broke
Ford,
into Ford's office.
Yes.
Yeah. So Zemeckis does this, and Zemeckis' first movie is called I Want to Hold Your Hand, and it's about Beatlemania.
Okay.
Amazing. I had no idea he was like such a Beatles guy.
Me neither.
And it's like 50s, 60s, you know, like that's kind of an obsession with him, obviously. Like he comes back to it.
There's a scene in Pulp Fiction, one of the featurettes. One of the deleted scenes is Mia is, that's her name, right?
In which? In Pulp Fiction, you said?
Marcellus.
Yeah.
Mia Wallace.
Mia Wallace
is talking with Vincent Vega, and she is espousing the theory that you're either a Beatles guy or you're an Elvis guy.
Funny.
And here we have Zemeckis, who's a Beatles guy pumping a bunch of Elvis into his Castaway.
I wonder if that, I mean, I'm sure I wonder if that is Zemeckis or if that came from Hanks or somebody else. I don't know.
Good point. Or Silvestri.
Sure. Or yeah.
Maybe
could
it was
be a number of
Silvestri.
people. Yeah. Could be the writer. Could be Interesting. But yeah, so he had been working on these different projects. Hanks and the writer brought this thing to him, and he was like, "Okay, I like it, but how does he get off the island? They didn't have all these different pieces?" So he goes and he's making something else, and he comes back and he's like, "You guys still working on this Desert Island movie?" And they're like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Okay, here's what you got to do." And he had the last act for them, I guess.
Oh,
he'd been thinking about it the whole time
because when they were kind of gearing up to produce it, Tom kept asking Zemeckis, it's like, "Hey, how are we going to do the transformation? How are we going to do the transformation?" And Zemeckis is like, what are you talking about? It's like, "How am I going to physically do this?"
Yeah.
And Zemeckis says, "Oh, I just figure you'd do another Philadelphia thing."
Funny. That's funny. Philadelphia thing. That's funny. Yeah, what year is Philadelphia? Is that 97?
I was just looking at it.
90s?
I can't. It was mid to early to late 90s.
Gotcha. There, yeah, perfect. Early to somewhere in the 90s range.
Yeah, I was actually looking at it because of Denzel, which is weird. Anyway.
But yeah, I think his quote that I heard that Hank says is, "Well, if you had any guts, you'd just do it for real." And that was kind of his mantra. So if you had any guts, we'd do it this way. And then Hank's like, "Well, then we have to do it that way."
So who said that?
Zemeckis said, "If you have any guts,
awesome.
This is how you do it."
So Tom gained 50 pounds for the first part, and they shot it in two parts. He gained 50 pounds. They did that, and then as he was losing the weight, he lost a ton of weight. He was like 260 or something, and he lost a ton of weight for his later in the movie physique. While he was losing the weight, freaking Zemeckis goes and directs What Lies Below or whatever.
What Lies Beneath.
What Lies Beneath.
So we did, when we do our quote unquote movie nights, if it's planned, I'll just throw a playlist of YouTube trailers before, just to play before we watch the movie.
That's awesome.
And then I found a really cool, this time an HBO bumper that's just people watching movies at home and here's your feature presentation thing. So that was sweet. But I did Enemy Mine, Legend, and then What Lies Beneath. I can't remember what else, but yeah,
that's so cool. I love that you do that.
It's a good time.
I love the way you think, man. I would never do that, but that is so the home experience, the theatrical experience, and just filling the moment and gearing you up for what is to come.
Yeah, that's one of the cool parts about movies is you go and there's trailers and then you're oh yeah, that's right, we're also seeing a movie.
That's really wonderful. Cool. And you get to curate. You're almost curating your own movie night.
Right.
But in a smaller way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I've never seen What Lies Beneath. I'd be very interested to.
Same.
It's weird that Harrison Ford is a no good cheater,
There's a slew of Harrison Ford movies that I've been looking at because of the connection to, I think it was a certain director, that it's all psychological relationship thriller stuff.
Interesting. I had a 4-disc thing that was with Fugitive, and there was a couple psychological, he's on the run kind of
maybe that
things,
was it. I was looking at I can't remember, or it was a list of 80s and 90s thrillers that rule that people forgot about.
Do you know what Hanks was working on, other than losing the weight?
2000 was
it's probably not what you think.
Ryan,
it's close to that.
98.
He was prepping Band of Brothers.
Okay, yeah.
And he said that he fell into a hole in Berchtesgaden and separated his shoulder or something during one of their recon things, and he lost 3 weeks of weight loss.
Oh shit.
So he's 10 or 15 pounds heavier than he wanted to be just because he got put out of commission from that. But
okay,
cool. What a interesting time.
Yeah,
Band of Brothers is so good.
What an interesting, creatively just lush time for these dudes.
Yeah, that's why that's why I was seeing people theorizing why he didn't win the actor award, which goddamn dude, he's the whole movie.
Yeah.
Was because he had so much just back to back that they're you know what,
True.
Somebody else needs to win.
Well, that, and it was Russell Crowe for Gladiator, I think
you're right,
because
which is also incredible.
It is
it's
incredible
a great performance.
Incredible performance. I would, at this point, I'm higher on Castaway than I am on Gladiator, even though Gladiator is Ridley Scott.
But just the transformation stuff and carrying the whole movie by yourself.
Yes.
Excuse me. Yeah.
And it's
I mean,
Gladiator is much more theatrical and spectacular, whereas this performance is so nuanced.
Yeah. It's really small. Like, you're just a dude on an island. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not in some coliseum, and there's not that visual. It's beautiful, but there's not that same like spectacle. The plane crash.
Oh, dude! Speaking of,
yeah.
and we're almost there. He hops on the plane to return home to Texas, where Kelly is, and he meets his friend Stan. And while he's on the plane with Stan, they're talking about the efficiency of FedEx itself. And he's like, "Well, you could have just added fuel and made up the time." He's like, "It's not about the planes, it's about the trucks. If they're late 5 minutes today, they'll be late 10 minutes tomorrow and 15. It's about keeping the trucks running." But then Gwen, their friend, who's like a flight attendant, she comes over and starts talking to Stan. He says, "Hey, I heard about Mary. How's all that going?" And the way Stan is talking about Mary, the way his delivery of, he's like, "Oh yeah, it hasn't metastasized," which is everything you need to know about the situation.
Right.
Like, this guy doesn't. He trips over the word, like he doesn't fully understand it, and he hasn't been saying it enough because it's so new to their lives. And during this conversation, you learn so much about what's going on. It's like, oh, this guy, his wife has cancer, and the camera very carefully focuses on Chuck, and as the conversation itself is occurring in the background, sort of, the camera pushes into Chuck very subtly, and he's disengaging from the conversation. He is clearly so uncomfortable about this conversation that he's like actively disengaging. Even though when they land, he's talking to Stan when they're getting ready to drive to the terminal. He says, "Hey, I know this doctor. He's supposed to be the best."
Yeah, it's a really nice moment.
It is nice, and it's like reaching out to his friend, but both of them are being kind of weird about it. Like, Stan is kind of weird because it's a weird situation. He's not 100%.
It's almost like he doesn't have enough. Well, Chuck doesn't have enough like processing power even for that. He's like, I this is all I can think about.
Exactly.
This thing.
Yeah, and Chuck is like, and even him, he was kind of weird about it. He's like, "Yeah, we could get this solved. We could get it fixed," because he's a fixer.
Right.
So then that's when he goes to, unless you had more.
Nope.
That's when he goes to find Kelly, because he's been calling her and just the house is empty. And so he shows up at the college and asks someone, and that person says, yeah, she's printing her dissertation, which says everything you need to know about what Kelly is, because clearly it's like a biology department at this college. There's like pictures of frogs and snakes and shit everywhere. So she's training to become like a biology professor or something.
Yeah, she's got a cute little sweater on and stuff. And
yeah, and she's got her glasses, and she's just looks like she's in comfort work mode. And he just sees her, and he just looks lovingly at her from the door, and just like takes her in all of her Kelliness, right? And then she senses that someone's looking, and she turns and sees him, and she just spreads her arms wide for this beautiful hug, and she says, "You're home. I love that you're home." And they kiss and hold each other, and then they just dance. Their chemistry is immediately apparent.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very sweet.
It's very sweet.
Yeah.
Then I think the next scene is a really important scene, because it cuts to the camera. You hear a TV on at low volume in the background. It's night. The camera is like moving across a mantle, and it shows Chuck's sailing awards and certificates and pictures of him and Kelly, maybe even wearing life vests. And it's
something about this like so beautifully art directed. Like,
agreed.
You see a ton of it, and it just pans down the middle, and you just are picking up what's in the middle. But you're like, there is more. Even you feel that there's more, even certifications and recognition and all this stuff. Yeah.
It is example of one of the reasons why I truly believe that this is such a well considered movie.
The small details in this are nuts.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so really tightly. Everything is information for the viewer, especially at the beginning, where you have to be given as much information about this person as possible, so to make his journey plausible but also relatable.
Yeah.
And
there's going to be no more people to talk to you about Chuck. Like, there's going to be no more conversations about him, and there's not going to be much, like, other than, like, how does he act in a serious situation.
That's true.
This, you know?
And like Enemy Mine had the benefit of you learning about the characters as they learn about each other.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Whereas this, we have to know as much about Chuck as we can, so that
you gotta care as much as you possibly can. Yeah.
And so that when he's solving problems on the island, that's not necessarily character development, but it is in an extremely practical way.
Yeah.
Like, a character is developing because they are learning.
Yeah, you're not getting to know them as like a person. You're getting to know them as how would they handle pressure.
Yeah,
right.
As a human being surviving.
Yeah.
And then it pans down and they're cuddling on the couch. He's asleep. She's right behind him, and she's just in awe of him. She's just watching him sleep. And she reaches, grabs a remote, turns off the television, and just stays in that moment. And just Helen Hunt's facial expressions. She can say, if we're going to talk about Tom Hanks and his ability to convey so much with such a minimal amount of movement of his face, or like space in the screen to move around in. Helen Hunt.
Yeah, she's great.
She meets him.
Mm-hmm.
She's as good. And
yeah, I mean, that's also like equally important is this relationship, because you have to believe that he cares enough that's going to sustain him the whole time.
Yeah. And there's something to come back to.
Right.
Like, he cares enough, but
it's not like a hollow thing. It's like it's a real, like, you care because this relationship is so sweet.
Is so full.
Yeah.
Like, you know that it's not one-sided. When you're out on that island with him and he's looking at his picture of Kelly and thinking about, I got to get back to Kelly, I got to get back to Kelly, they have in like 3 scenes shown you that he is her world and vice versa.
Yeah.
They have built a world together. And it's one that...
How far in do you think we are in the movie at this point? Like
15 minutes.
15? Yeah. Yeah.
20 minutes.
It's very economical.
Yes. Yeah, they've done an incredible job of setting this up. There's Chuck asleep, couch, family... the family dinner.
Okay.
A Christmas dinner. It's so lively.
Oh, yeah.
And this is...
Oh, when are you two gonna get married or whatever, that scene?
Yeah, and I can't decide. I think it's her family, but they met, or maybe it's both, because the old timers are talking about the sorting, like how'd you sort of the packages, and they reference, back when I was in the company, our first night was 12,000? No, 12 packages, and we did it on an old card table that old so-and-so had bronzed. It's in its office. Oh, I've heard this story so many times.
Oh, that's funny.
And then, the chatter, it feels, and you get the information that she was involved with FedEx in some way, in the FedEx logistics, and that's how they met, because she references like, back when I was doing it, blah, 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 blah. So this is a FedEx family.
Yeah. And he's
whether
just stuck with it. And
yeah. Whether it's his family and her family combined, or it's her family and he fits right in because he's a FedEx guy and they're all FedEx people. But then
but adds to his like pride in it, and like, I'm a legacy kind of guy. Like, I gotta uphold this.
Yeah,
thing,
true.
Interesting.
Interesting.
I'm sure that's also like motivating as far as like his character. Yeah.
Then they talk about her ex-husband and the parolee who was a lawyer. I knew I had something to do with raising your right hand. But then like a younger like niece or nephew says, I didn't know Aunt Kelly was married. Oh, it was so long ago it didn't matter. But then, speaking of marriage, one of the family members is like, hey, when are you two getting hitched? And they have this whole, it's long before the pie, I owe you $5 kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they know that there's pressure on them from their family to be married, but
it's classic. Everybody's family does that to them, I feel like.
And they do a great job of showing that Kelly was married. The marriage was meaningless to her, or at least the person was. But the marriage itself meant a lot. And the dissolution of that marriage, I think, left a lasting impact, because her reaction later in the next scene when they're or 2 scenes from now, when they're in the car doing their Christmas. And, well, anyway, so then the beeper goes off. Well, he hits an olive pit, or his tooth hurts, and he reacts to it, and then there's a lady who's like, oh, I thought I got all the olive pits. He's like, no, don't worry about it. But then the beeper goes off, and they have to set their schedule books on their laps, and like, oh, I gotta be here. You gotta be here for New Year's.
Oh yeah.
And so they're talking about I'm going to be in Malaysia, but the Malaysia thing's not going to take that long. So it just leads credence to the theory that I had, that he's just sent wherever needs to get fixed.
Yeah, he's very busy. Yeah.
He's a very busy man, just like you had brought up earlier with the theme. I'm sorry I'm going too specific. I love
good.
the details of this film.
I'm just listening to you. It's nice.
But then, sorry, we have to do Christmas in the car. We got to go. He has to go hit the next flight. Like you said, they go out, what?
2 a.m., yeah.
So it must have been, yeah. So he goes. And she gives, when they're in the car, they take 5 minutes before he has to leave, and she gives him her granddaddy's watch, which he had with him on the Southern Pacific, which is kind of ironic because it's exactly where he will have it.
That's true.
And
it's time, and
time. Oh God, obviously. Jeez Louise, I'm an idiot.
Funny.
Genius. Thank you. Okay, obviously. He gives her a beeper. Oh God. So he gives her a beeper. She doesn't really like it. She doesn't like that whole aspect of his personality as the obsessed with time kind of thing.
Well, sure, and always being on call for somebody or something, and
and
I get that.
Then he walks away, but comes back and presents her with a wrapped gift, the exact size of a ring, in a box, and her eyes widen, and she just says she's terrified. He says, "Open it we'll open it together when I come back on New Year's.
Yeah,
just hold on to it." And then as he's walking away, he says, "I'll be right back." So then he's on, and
then there's a big plane crash.
Yeah. Well, when he's on the plane, like he's asleep, he's jarred awake. Apparently, the head of FedEx flight safety was a consultant on set for this whole thing.
Yeah.
And he walk through everything that they would say and do in this exact scenario.
That's awesome.
Up until right before the crash.
Yeah, it feels very serious.
Very serious and very accurate. So this plane crash.
It's amazing. One of the best plane crashes on film.
Done.
Yeah. I think Zemeckis is responsible for 2 really good ones. Have you seen Flight?
I have. Oh, no. The one with Denzel.
Yeah.
I've not.
It's fine.
I just ordered it.
But the crash is awesome.
Yeah.
It's like, there is a moment in there that is so serious.
Really?
Holy shit, yeah.
Okay.
But this is the moment where you realize something's going on, is where he comes out and he's like, mama, and they don't even say anything to him. They just keep saying their
put a finger in
like
his
code.
Face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, uh-oh.
Yeah. Oh, so he goes into the bathroom, and he's
got a Band-Aid on his finger.
Yes, this is part of that injury thing. He like starts taking the bandage off and like looking at it, just like, oh.
Yeah, I think this is a genius misdirection, right? Where like, that's a gross thing that he's doing, and potentially painful.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, what is under the Band-Aid, And then you're like, oh yeah, that's right. We're in something bad is happening with the plane. And you get this like lurch.
Oh, that's a great point.
I think it's genius.
Yeah, absolutely it is.
Because you completely get wrapped up in that for a second.
Yeah.
And
or
then,
unwrapped.
Or unwrapped in that.
Because it's a Band-Aid. Yeah. Maybe it's as simple as that. I think I've put a lot of the injury stuff together in my head because it's like some thematic element, but honestly, I just think it's like it's individually, it's a bunch of little stuff, like a really intelligent misdirect, and then later on it's just a way for the screenwriters and the director to beat up their main character, to make him go through some stuff.
I like. I mean, trying to think, like, Nice Guys, Ryan Gosling gets the shit kicked out of him through the whole movie. Like, I love that.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I guess Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, like he does too. Like,
sure.
He slashes his arm open.
Sure, John McClane.
John McClane, yep. That's a trope of the Bond books, is he'll end up with a muscle ripped off or some shit. That's one of the cool things, is he'll have to he sacrifices his body to solve the problem.
Yeah. For Her Majesty.
Yeah. But I think that's great. Like a totally natural thing, like in this movie, where he's got a Band-Aid on for some other thing that's going on, and his teeth hurt, and that, it's very like human.
Yeah.
And it is like his body's going through this machine of whatever he's doing and taking these bumps and scratches, and he kind of just is along for the ride,
And sometimes that ride crash lands in the ocean. Yeah. At one point, he is standing with his arm wrapped in the webbing that's keeping the packages in the cargo area, and he's got a choice. Kelly's pocket watch is on the ground in one direction, and the life preserver is in the other direction, and he dives for the pocket watch. And then when Albert comes out and sees him, he starts screaming at him to put his seatbelt on, but then another jar sends him up into
he hits his forehead on the thing.
Yeah, and he starts bleeding profusely.
It's a very visceral hit, and like you don't see it, the actual contact.
No.
He goes up and something's in front of his face, and he comes down to blood everywhere.
And the sound design again is dynamic at this point, and it's striking. And he's on the ground shaking, reaching towards his head that's billowing blood. Luckily, Chuck he gets the pocket watch. He forfeits the life vest, but he is holding on to the raft. The inflatable raft secured emergency kit. Yeah. And once the plane crashes into the water,
like you said, the webbing, and he's taking this crash like head on, basically. I think it's a pretty good character moment of like he's just like leaning forward into like between everyone straight, and you can see straight out the front as they're going straight into the water. Like
that's true. Cool. And there's another element of you want the audience to see everything from his perspective, so that's one of the reasons why he's got to take it head on.
Right. No, it does like focus you into this is the main character. Don't forget, like this is the guy you're following.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's intense.
It
starts the whole thing rushes with water, and he's submerged, and he releases the clasp on the raft so that it inflates and starts to carry him up out of the wreckage, but the bundle of emergency supplies that comes inside the raft gets lodged in the wreckage, and he yanks on it until it rips off. And I can only assume that there's like a flare gun and everything necessary for
flint. And...
And so that's taken from him, but at least he's carried up to the surface via the inflated raft.
It's a very like Spielbergy, like this happens and then this happens and then this happens, but it's so clear. Like you can see everything happening, each of these little beats, and it's just filmed in a tank, which like shouldn't look this realistic. Like in the behind the scenes stuff, you can see everything they're doing to make this happen. And Hanks describes it as being in a jungle gym. He's like, today we're going to be on this thing, and I'm going to be moving right today. I'm going to be on this thing, and I'm going to be holding on,
That's great.
It's really impressive. Like there's fire, but you look at the wide shot of what's happening, and it's just a tank with Hanks on an inflatable raft, and people are splashing him and stuff. But the way it looks is incredible. Like I think throughout this whole movie, all the effects and the water stuff is like very impressive, because you see there's no information lost, but he's underwater dealing with this stuff. Yeah, it's really impressive.
One of the camera operators, probably the lead camera operator, they had got him because he had done a lot of extreme documentary filmmaking.
Cool.
And he has said himself he's much more suited to clinging to a side of a mountain in a rainstorm with a camera, or being in the waves with Tom Hanks, than shooting in Studio 30 or whatever.
A little bit of a dream job for me, I think.
Do you think?
Like being well, if you can put motorcycles in there, then even better.
Yeah.
But that style documentary, like filmmaking, like out in the middle of nowhere, also got to take care of your own stuff and get stuff on camera. Like,
I get that.
What a dream! Yeah.
That would be wonderful, right?
Yeah.
That would be amazing. I could see doing that with you.
Yeah.
You and me. Having some sort of adventure.
It's like the Bond guys who are like, I'm a world-class skier, and now I'm going to become a cameraman because there's this need for some reason.
I could ski backwards and shoot the action.
Exactly, yeah.
It's pretty amazing. So, Chuck's lost in the waves. and lots of really excellent sound design. That's enough to make you feel, and it's very purposeful on the part of the sound design team of using sound to make it feel as though several hours have passed of him being lost in the waves, even though in a film length it's seconds. It goes dark, screen goes dark, you hear the storm pass, and then you hear the popping of the raft on the rocks, and he wakes up enough to climb up and see the island in profile with lightning lighting it up. This island is one of the Monoriku Islands in Fiji, which is where they shoot some of Survivor.
Oh, cool.
This is one of the Survivor beaches.
Yeah, there's nothing here at the time. Like, they don't shoot anything. Like, Zemeckis hires this lady to be the go-between between the natives and the production, and we might as well talk about Lost for a second.
Yeah, let's, please.
Lost, the TV show, is entirely because of this movie. Lindelof and Abrams and all them saw it and were like, what's the TV show of that? And you get that right when he goes on the island. There's a weird sound happening, right? That's the coconuts falling.
Yes.
And there's all this mystery, like the thunder, the lightning, and there's something in the trees. But they were like, what if it was a group of people? And then they add the supernatural thing. So, like, I couldn't help but think about Lost, like, a lot while he was on the island.
And that makes a lot of sense, especially since we were a certain age when this came out and Lost, and it was a lot at once.
What year is Lost? Like 2004, 5, 6?
I would believe that. Yeah, I think
So
it
it's
was
like right
pretty
after.
close to this.
Yeah.
It was post 9/11.
And this movie was a big deal, like, when it came out.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. So
culturally.
I
I think this movie, as well as maybe Rocky, and there's one other that I think in my head is a really good example of fall into that point of cultural osmosis that people think they've seen it.
Sure.
When really they've just seen it referenced so many times.
They've seen the Simpsons episode about it.
There's a Simpsons episode?
No, that's my experience with a lot of movies and TV shows is like, I don't know, but I've seen the Simpsons episode of it.
Totally. Yeah, the Super Bowl commercial, the Simpsons episode, the whatever, the SNL skits or whatever.
Yeah.
It was just so endlessly referenced and parodied that I think people felt so deeply that they understood the plot that it's like, I don't need to see Castaway and then 10 years later, like, I think I saw that movie.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember Castaway. Yeah. They did the whole thing so Lost ended up doing this too with, I think they're in Hawaii when they're shooting, but they're in an area that's also a sacred land. So they have a elder or a chief or something come and they do a blessing ceremony, and they did the same thing for this, where they had the top 5 people in the tribe came and they watched the first day of shooting, and there's footage of Zemeckis coming out, hey, how'd you guys like that, how you guys doing, blah blah blah, just like doing that and of filmmaking, just making people happy and schmoozing, and then going back to actually shooting.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, really interesting.
Is awesome.
It's all is apparently Zemeckis, just his confidence of like, we'll do that, we can make it happen, which I think is partly confidence, and also he understands film history and like, crazier shit's been done, like, we might as well try to make it happen. People shot in this place that was totally irradiated and they all died, and they made that happen.
Well, and they don't dishonor the area at all.
And it's it's a big production, but there's one actor, which is a huge thing. Like, if they had 10 actors or whatever, like Lost, like, that'd be a exponentially larger production.
The production was such that they had huts and stuff that they had built.
Yeah, they built like a little production city,
a little village, and
which is really cool.
Wherever they would go from their hotel. It was a hour-and-a-half commute one way to get out to that island, and even during shooting, they had to be so careful as to walk the entire perimeter of the shooting area in the water, so as not to leave excess footprints in the sand.
Whoa!
Because it's one person.
Yep. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What a crazy production.
Oh, indeed.
And then doing that, 5 or however many months, and then having a break and then coming back.
And starting all over again.
Yeah.
Well, not starting all over again.
Their perception is like, we just knew what to do, and that was more of everything. More boats, more people, we just needed more resources. So they had like 30 boats coming out there every day with all this stuff, and incredible.
They just had to figure it out.
Yeah. Really cool.
He climbs. So Chuck.
Okay, so sorry.
Please.
So he hit that moment where he's in the raft and he like, looks up.
Yeah.
I think there are 2 moments in this movie that are the most beautiful parts of the whole movie, and that's one of them.
Do you think?
At their bookends. It's when he gets there and when he leaves. It's this blue, this certain blue lighting that is like, it's a little fantastical, but it is like I've been in those moments where the lighting was like that magic lighting, you know.
You're talking in the storm,
right out when he's on the beach and he's in that raft, you know, and he's like see him like look up from it and he falls asleep in the raft.
Yeah,
it's this like blue, this certain like either sunrise or sunset, just like the very end of the light or the very beginning.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's so pretty, and it is like you're on the island now. You know, it's just like beginning of the chapter, like here we are.
That I understand.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's amazing.
There's a certain visual language that they use in this film often, that they kind of return to, where, and perhaps it was out of necessity just for storytelling, but they do a lot of either you see Chuck see something, and then start moving towards it. Usually towards
before
the camera,
revealing what it is. Or
before
whatever.
revealing, that's him here when he climbs onto the beach and is finding the packages. You see him see them, and then start walking towards them, and then it reveals the packages washing ashore, and he's picking them up. And they do that a lot. Or sometimes it's the opposite, where you are seeing something that he isn't, and you're waiting for him to see it.
Sure.
They do that a few times.
And then they show something and they reveal Chuck at the big like crux of the big shift in time, you know.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Or he's the reveal, yeah.
They do a really good job. I guess what we're saying is they do a really good job of visual reveals.
Yeah, a cinematic storytelling.
At its peak.
Yeah.
There's so much. I don't really want to get into this, but a lot of the audio commentary was discussing how much freaking special effects go into this film, and it's a lot of simple or basic stuff that is far from simple, and it's like water level stuff and wave matching and like shaving down things. So when he climbs aboard onto the island and he looks around, it does a 360 where it's apart from Chuck, it's showing what he's seeing, but he's kind of moving into and out of frame a little bit. They had to alter the landscape. They shaved it down so you can see past a rock formation, so you can see the vastness of his loneliness, or they add elements, or they shifted the landscape a little bit so as to amplify certain feelings that they're going for.
You just don't. You don't catch any of that. I didn't pick up on anything like that.
No, me neither. Yeah. It looks pretty seamless. There's a little bit of.
There's one shot in the movie that I was like, this is a little bit, not as much, but it's later.
Like what?
It's later.
Okay. At this point, before he gets the makes fire or gets the flashlight, it's all day for night.
Okay.
Until they have other light sources that they can use and then they could shoot in the dark. His help. He writes help in the sand with his foot, and this is the beginning of watching a man's an established, intelligent person, but he's not. I think it's really well done that he is not. His type of intellect is not outside of the bounds of what any normal person could be.
He doesn't have secret survivalist skills or whatever.
Yeah, and he's not a rocket scientist.
Yeah.
He's not a genius. Later we see him do some pretty good high school math, but it's math that we learned in high school we could have done. And he accesses knowledge that he had just about where he comes from, but it's all stuff we could know and do.
He's like measuring tides and stuff like that, I think.
And he makes his own calendar. He figures out how far of a search area it is, just because he had a good understanding of how fast a plane was going, like a decent understanding. And then he had a decent understanding of how long they were diverting around the storm, and then knowing how fast the plane was going, and then he drew a circle and then times it by pi to get the circumference. He's like, oh, this is 500,000 square miles. This is twice the size of Texas.
Yeah,
like that's some high school math. I wouldn't
with a brutal
realization.
Realization. Yeah.
Yeah. But that comes a little later. There's the coconuts falling at night, which is funny because it's like freaking them out. Well, the sound design purposely. Zemeckis told the sound designer, "I don't want the sound of any other wildlife, any wildlife, because to up the feeling of loneliness, and also to subtract that as a possible food source, because if there's birds, he could catch the birds and eat them. If there's any of that,
And just need to be focused and just have that one line of survival.
Exactly. Yeah, the coconuts and the fish and the crabs. And it's like any of us in a strange, scary place, and I've had this camping on islands. Like any sound that you get, it's like, what the fuck was that?
Right.
So the first time Dad and I camped on Rice Island, well, there's a string of islands near there. It's Rice, it's Miller Sands, and it's Pillar Rock. And the first one we had gotten to was the furthest east one because we were heading downriver towards the mouth of the ocean. And we got there, we're doing our break, and we see a bunch of pelican tracks everywhere. And then the only thing that made sense considering how far this island was away from the edge, the banks, because it was like several miles one way, and then the island, and then another several miles. This is a really wide stretch of the river, 3 to 4 miles wide, I would say. What looked like cougar,
interesting,
tracks, like hunting the pelicans, like jump marks and landmarks around where all the pelican tracks were.
Yeah, like it jumped out at them or something.
And then the tracks went up into the area. And I know that a cougar's range of hunting could be several miles, like hundreds of miles. And I know that they could swim quite a ways. So we looked at that and we're like, okay, let's finish and let's get the fuck out of here. So then by the time we had got to Rice Island, which is 2 islands later and several miles away, I still am aware that we're within this cougar's hunting
to that other island. You just rode to that island,
Exactly. I couldn't really imagine it happening considering how intense of a paddle it was, but it got to that island. And then in the middle, so we find a place, we set up our tents in this flat spot amongst all this driftwood, and we were looking at it's like, what are these lines that go up and down the sloped sand here? Who knows? I don't know, because we usually camp in the sand because it's softer. Whatever. So then in the middle of the night, I was awakened by the sound of something like scratching against my tent.
Oh my God.
And I thought, holy shit, the cougar. It's the cougar. It's come for me.
Yep.
Maybe Dad's already dead.
Oh God.
And I'm the dessert. Or I'm the first person, and then Dad's going to get to it next. He's going to have to fight this cougar with a pocket knife.
Oh my God.
So I'm sitting here in my tent, clutching my flashlight and my knife. I always have my knife in the tent with me. And eventually the sound goes away and I fall asleep. Get up the next morning, and there's small prints on either side of the lines. And only after thinking about it and doing a little research, apparently sea otters, they come on land at night to sleep and use their tails for balance when they're going downhill. That's what the line was, with the prints on either side.
Funny. So maybe you had a little sea otter clawing at your tent in the middle of the night or something?
Yeah, trying to get either back into the water, probably, because they're nocturnal, I think.
Oh, and you guys were blocking the path.
We were blocking their path. We had set up in their way, and they were coming down. They're like, "What the fuck is this?
This is some weird material."
Yeah,
in
what's
the way
this
of the
weird?
water.
I've never experienced this before. Maybe they're just curious of our smells and
stuff. Or
they're
like, "Yeah, there's a guy in there. Let's eat him."
Yeah, let's eat this guy's toes.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, for sure. And especially he's been in this traumatic situation. He knows he's by himself. It's interesting you don't see he walked around the whole island just to make sure it's an island or whatever, he doesn't really chart.
He does that.
Does he?
Oh. Yeah, he does. It's once he part of the progression is the coconut thing. Once he's freaked out by the thuds, then while he's in the day, he's looking around. He hears more things and calls into the woods. What is that? I hear you.
Yeah.
And then one falls in front of him. And then it's the progression of him trying to open the rind.
Yeah.
With slamming it against the wall and then hitting it with a rock and then that rock breaking and him cutting it with the shard, and he peels it open. So once he has a source of liquid, which is the coconut water,
any nutrition at all,
nutrition, eventually that's when he stuffs his socks full of leaves for some protection, fills a bunch of coconuts with rainwater that he collected in the tarp that was covering his raft, and then that's when he explores.
Gotcha.
He discovers a cave.
Yeah.
I think this is also when he climbs the mountain and looks the 360 and sees that he's on an isolated island.
Okay.
Part of the visual effects is they took away the other islands.
Oh, interesting.
Just to make him even more
I heard they did
isolated.
a little. Hank says they did a little bit of touching on like his face and stuff like that to sink his eyes in a little bit more here and there.
Whoa,
You can't
I totally
tell.
believe it.
Yeah, but yeah.
I totally believe it. Apparently, that shot of him on top of the mountain was like done in a parking lot, like a pull off.
Oh, interesting.
And then they just to get the camera move, I think the crane move, and then they comped all the rest in.
Interesting. There's a shot in the Nirvana the Band movie that is very similar to that.
Really?
It's done the same way, yeah.
Interesting.
Very interesting. And then there's a shot in did you ever see, we both, well, I don't know how to set this up, but Brett Ratner. You know that
Hello,
guy?
Brett Ratner.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say we're both huge Brett Ratner fans, right? Not really his movies, but the man himself, He's amazing.
I sometimes, well, I'm going to be real with you. Sometimes I confuse Brett Ratner with Rennie Harlan.
Who's Rennie Harlan?
Exactly. So Rennie Harlan, so Rennie Harlan, I think he did like Cliffhanger and Cutthroat Island, I think.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was Rennie Harlan that was. Oh, and he did Long Kiss Goodnight. Pretty sure he was married to Gina Davis. I don't think it was Brett Ratner.
Okay. I don't think Brett Ratner would be married to Gina Davis.
Okay.
She's too cool for him.
Yeah. So what's the deal with Brett Ratner?
He did this movie, that like an Eddie Murphy heist movie.
Oh God, Tower Heist.
Yeah, Tower Heist. They did a very similar shot too, where it's like looking off of the building.
Yeah.
But it looks like Google Maps. Like they didn't quite figure it out, so you feel the like big curve of everything, and everything's distorted. Like it looks like they're just looking at like a Google Maps thing from the top of the building.
The movie's hideous.
Yeah.
Well,
that guy sucks.
Why? Okay, why?
I just think he just sexually harasses people and
so he
he's
sucks.
a douchebag. Yeah.
He like sucks.
Yeah.
Sucks and wants to be sucked.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, he's definitely not Brett Radner.
No.
He's Brett Ratner.
Yeah, exactly.
Take that, Brett.
Yeah, motherfucker.
Yeah,
got
sucky.
him.
That guy sucks to death.
Yep.
So within the scope of this logical progression that we're seeing, Zemeckis says one of the biggest challenges was taking the simple actions and basing them in the 3-act dramatic structure in order to make it interesting. Mm-hmm. So the beginning, middle, and end, the conflict resolution, just all of that within the scope of him learning these survival skills.
Yeah.
And I think it's presented in that way so that it is extremely compelling. Like one thing always leads to another in a way that's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Oh, that makes sense. Oh, that's the next thing you would do.
I wrote down, man, Dan likes a process movie. Actually, I wrote, Dan likes, a process movie. A desert island / trapped in an environment story with a duo.
Yeah.
And then a dark element.
Yeah.
Which I wrote about a certain scene that's going to come up.
Okay. You're very right. One of my other favorite movies, Jeremiah Johnson.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Another movie that I love, A Man Escaped, which is a Robert Bresson film. And it's just also, A Man Escaped is a procedural of a man escaping from prison.
Oh, cool.
You watch every step.
That's awesome.
And same for Escape from Alcatraz.
Like Thief or, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
but I was thinking of Enemy Mine, right, is they're two dudes trapped on a desert planet, basically.
Yes. I love a survival movie, but
and
also...
you see, you're big, like you had a big point of like, this is the animal they kill. You see it in the background being dried and their progression of like figuring that out. And that is exactly what you're seeing Tom Hanks do is like, and their process for it was, it says this in the script that he's doing this. Do we think Chuck probably already figured that out and he's like way past this now? Like they would argue everything in each moment of like, well, Chuck would have done this like on day 2. Let's fast forward. He actually has this thing that he's working on, kind of a thing, which I think is brilliant. Being like flexible in those moments of, well, the script says this, but we think Chuck is either worse or better than that in this moment, because now we've gone through it and we have a better idea of what we have. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
And you're incredibly right about my love for, how did you put it?
The process, I guess, movies, procedurals. Yeah.
And that's probably part of that is because I really love visual storytelling, and you could say a lot about a character based on the actions that they take or the things hanging around them. And this movie is really good at visual storytelling and telling you about Chuck as the film progresses, based on the things he gathers, the way he decorates his cave, which becomes his future home, just all that stuff.
Yeah, what he cares about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really satisfying. They do it in a way that is not all of it's earned. Like, you feel like, yes, he would totally learn these things in this order, and yeah, you start to believe, he could survive. Like, if he's figuring it out fast enough, he's staying ahead of this like curve.
He's getting his ass kicked.
He is getting his ass kicked. Something I was thinking about for most of this process, or part of the movie, was like, man, YouTube has changed so much. There are so many survivalist YouTubers and so many people into that kind of thing that, like, Chuck would have some sort of information beforehand, like in these days.
Yeah, true. We all kind of have.
But they had to hire these like specialty survivalist guys who, like, that was their big hobby, to like get that information, right? Where like these guys would just be like have a TV show or YouTube people or something now,
These people, and they would just hire the people from the YouTube channel,
right,
to teach them or whatever.
So, really interesting.
Do you think YouTube helped these people's career, made them more accessible, or do you think it being accessible kind of damaged their...
I think these guys who they hired are... Like, 2 of them look like straight up fur trappers. Like, they like go to the fort, Like, I don't think they care about anything on the internet.
That's pretty
They're
amazing.
just living out there,
Like, I've heard of that. The internet. I heard.
Yeah.
I have one of those for catching fish.
Yeah, exactly. Can the internet start a fire for you? I don't think so.
I don't think so. At this point, it becomes abundantly clear. There has been no score. There has been only like source music or diegetic music thus far, pop songs, stuff on the radio, whatever. We don't get the first piece of score until much later in the story, and then we get the same score 4 different times.
There's only 1 piece of music written for this movie,
and it's perfect.
It's awesome,
and it's used perfectly. Zemeckis said that he wanted to be scored with the sound effects. The sound design itself is what paces the film, and the use of sound effects is really interesting. And what they had to go into to get some of the Foley was challenging. A lot of it because most of the stuff they captured on set, all you heard was the crashing waves in the background, overtaking this. So
it's just completely made somewhere else.
Yeah, most of it.
Interesting. Very, very naturalistic.
He's on the mountain. He looks down in the waves, and this is the 360 he does of the mountain, just proving his isolation. And he looks down and sees in the waves a body. And he rushes to the body, and it's his friend Albert, the one who sustained the incredible head injury. Pulls out his ID, takes his shoes, takes his flashlight, finds a picture of the man's children. When he's looking at the ID, he says, like, Albert, not Alan.
Yeah, that's right.
Albert, which is really
a great moment.
It's a great little moment. And he buries him, writes the man's name and his age, like birth and death year on the rock, with another rock, and he just stands over and says, well, that's it. Because he's not a sentimental man. He's and then the next shot is just him.
He also didn't really know him. I mean, he's some guy like that was on his flight.
True, they're acquaintances.
Yeah. And it is like, there's my last sort of human interaction with this dead guy. So that's it.
So then he's got his shoes, which he's cut the toes out because they're, and he's got his flashlight, and so he's sleeping in his shitty raft on the beach with a rhythm. He turns on the flashlight just long enough to look at Kelly's picture in the pocket watch. And there's a I didn't say this, but when he receives the gold pocket watch that was Kelly's granddaddy's in the Southern Pacific, he opens it and sees that there's a picture of Kelly, and he says, "Oh, this is my favorite picture of you. I took this picture. So there's a picture of Kelly that throughout his time on the island, he gazes at it to remind himself of home. And so he's doing that same thing. He's lighting the flashlight long enough to get a second or two of her face and then turning it off. And then as if he is afraid it goes away or he will forget her, he turns on the flashlight.
Or he starts to feel that things aren't going to work out or something.
Oh God.
Yeah. Oh, okay. No, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. I have her. I'll get back.
God, that's true. It's like pacing his like rising fear, and then he just like alleviates it with that brief moment of
like, oh yeah, Kelly's out there.
So then there's drinking water from leaves. There's him chasing a fish in the surf with a sharpened spear, a shitty stick. Just like little day-to-day trying to survive stuff. And at night, it shows him walk to the beach to take a whiz. And this is the opposite of what I was talking about earlier, of where you see him see something, and then it is revealed to the audience what it is, like the FedEx packages in the surf. This is the light off in the distance.
Oh, yeah.
And he's distracted looking around, looking at the stars.
It's a great moment. Yeah, these guys, the Zemeckis guy, I think, he kind of knows what he's doing.
I
think
so.
Some next level shit.
He might have an understanding of cinematic storytelling.
Yeah. I mean, that was his argument the whole time, too, of like, we got to take out this dialogue because there's lines. There's stuff written for Chuck wandering around the island. He's like, this is not cinema. This is you just saying what's happening. Like,
right.
We got to show them what's going on, and that will be cinematic.
And they do a good job of incorporating an additional prop or character so that you do have a sense of the inner monologue later on. And this is, it's like a brief scene of that rising tension of, come on, dude, look. Yeah. Look, the light's there. And every time he does kind of look forward, the light goes away for a little bit.
And it's nothing. It's black, a dot.
Yes.
And like that's so much dramatic impact.
And it's because that dot is everything.
Yeah, exactly.
That dot is humans, and those humans are the way home.
You're like, fucking Chuck, figure it out, bro.
Yeah.
Take a look.
So finally he does see it.
Yeah.
And he runs, gets his flashlight, does an SOS. And then he's like, okay, fuck this. I'm going for it.
Yeah.
So he gets in his raft and he stuffs, all of his gear in his pocket, and he makes a charge into the waves. But that seventh wave, man, it's just too much. And it just topples him, and he spins about in the surf. The raft is punctured.
It's not a good plan.
No.
Like he's doing it out of desperation.
But what else are you going to do?
Right. There's something there.
You have to. Well, I mean, he probably would have died at sea. So, and then his leg is punctured. He gets royally fucked up.
Yeah. Another injury. Yep.
Yes.
And now it's worse. Yeah. And now it's not just, I'm not just surviving, but I have a serious injury.
Yeah, this could become infected. I could die from this.
Yep.
Then a storm moves in and pushes him into the cave that he had found earlier. And he's busted up. He's probably pretty frightened and pretty mad, and just
he spent some of his resources. He spent some of his energy. Yeah.
Yeah, and so then he passes out in the floor of this cave, just like suckling from this muddy puddle, and leaves his flashlight on. And it dies. But then the next day, he's back at it. He's got all of those packages, and he's like, F this. He starts tearing into them.
Yeah.
So what do you want to say about the props?
Oh, I mean, what all gets revealed? Ice skates?
It's VHS tapes.
That's right. The first one
papers,
is VHS tapes, which is hilarious.
A volleyball, ice skates, a mesh dress and jacket, and some other things.
Yeah.
We might have the same note. Do you want me to start going?
Go for it. Yeah.
So Robert Zemeckis, they thought they just wanted to use this for comedy. They tried to think of the dumbest stuff possible that he could be opening, just to like get pops from the audience,
right? Which I think is funny. Like the VHS tapes, like it's also shows restraint that it's not like it's Forrest Gump on VHS or something like that. It's just like it's nothing. It's training tapes or something.
Yeah, international industrial training tapes.
Yeah.
So then he had his props team collect all these items, and then they sent them to the survival guys. and said, come up with uses for all of this. And they came up with so much stuff. The VHS tapes, not only did they make the rope out of the VHS tapes, which was almost unbreakable, they had found like these little, like a metal pin inside, and they had used that as incorporated as a fish hook, and like these plastic dealies inside the tapes they were using for bobbers.
That's genius.
They just had Zemeckis was just dumbfounded by all the stuff that the survival experts had come up with, including the ice skate, which they kind of simplified and made it.
So what I had heard was during the survivalist training that the writer was having, a volleyball washed up on shore, and they're like, "That's funny. It's Wilson. It says Wilson on there," and they were just like kicking it around, but like talking to it like it was a thing, and like included it in their training.
Yeah,
it was like, "Oh, fucking Wilson," And then when he went to go write, was like, "Well, I'm just gonna do that. It's Wilson."
Yes, I had heard that also. So that's similar, but parallels kind of this other thing. And apparently he gave that volleyball to Tom Hanks.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's sweet. But yeah, and then there's the conversation. I'm not sure, is Wilson happen right now when he's opening his packages, or is it a little later?
That's later.
Okay.
Yeah, because that happens when he's trying to make fire.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So then after the packages, it's like, okay, fuck. He uses the ice skate to cut a better spear. Mm-hmm. He finally gets himself a crab that's on the rocks. He rips off a piece of it, and it's like watery and gross and gooey. And so then that starts the I need to make a fire.
Mm-hmm.
So
which that parallels the writer guy's thing too. Is like he caught a crab and was like, okay, yeah, I'm not gonna eat this. So it's not gonna be how we survive. I'm making fire next.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's a perfect progression. I love that he went through. It's so cool that he.
It's amazing. The
came up with
group
these
of
ideas.
people that they had like working on the survivalist guys in general. Like that's so cool. And then, putting a writer through that, and then his ability to like take that and make it into something. Yeah.
Considering all the stuff that they had ideas for, and then cut back, their restraint is really commendable, but also the thoroughness of this screenplay, of this script is really evident. It's one of the reasons why I love it. It's so tightly written. Mm-hmm. The ideas are so considered. It's such a beautifully crafted story.
And it's obviously those two guys, Hanks and the writer, but like also, it's Zemeckis. Like Back to the Future is the tightest made movie there is. I feel like one of the like top.
Back to the Future.
All the information you're getting at the same thing. Like there's this huge amount of information at the beginning that leads into this like payoffs at the end. That is like a perfect circle of writing.
100% agreed. Yeah. It's also a time travel movie, and that's difficult to do time travel
and not have loose ends
and not have really glaring loose ends.
Yeah.
And Back to the Future is one of the best.
Yeah.
So then the fire making leads to him trying to make a friction fire, which means to him fucking up his hand and just being so frustrated. He's got this bloody wound in his hand from the spindle, and then he like throws a little bit of a tantrum, and it just lets out all the frustration that he's been gathering, and he hasn't like expressed openly.
Yeah, he hasn't
yet.
been human enough even to have like this come out. He's just been a survival guy. That's it.
It's one of those, why can't one thing go right?
Yeah.
And so then his bloody hand, he grabs the Wilson volleyball and like hucks it into the woods or into the bushes and screams and kicks. And so, but once he gathers himself, because relentless is our goal. Relentless is he tells that to Gwen earlier when he's getting on the first plane, jokingly. So he sits down. He grabs the volleyball, which you have here.
As part of this, I don't know if you listened to other episodes, but I think we have a maximalist podcast, right?
Yeah, fair.
We have tried to, like you were saying, they had so many ideas that they had restraint with. It's not a lot of restraint here, but I also like to have props for our. Exactly. I like to have props for our recordings, and we've got Mandy's Wilson volleyball, which I promised that we would not play with because she cares about it. Little life preserver.
Probably gonna kiss it a little.
Yeah, as long as it's soft and tender.
That's the only way I know how to kiss Wilson.
I know. I got a first aid kit. I brought a knife, my binoculars, little sunscreen. just to keep us in the mood. But Wilson's here watching over all of it. So they had this in the script that this Wilson was going to show up, and Hanks is like, "Can I just see it's Wilson and draw a face on it, and now it's my friend?" And Zemeckis still had that like, "Well, that's too easy. You can't just like assign this thing like a personality or whatever. He's like, I want it to be a child of your blood." And so that's when they came up with this like, well, he's pissed off and he cuts his hand, and now it's of Hanks. It's him, and it's an accident.
It's so and it's even further imbued with a sense of weight to the character of Chuck. Not like you said, I hadn't even considered it's a child of his blood. That makes sense. I always just thought it was like a means to have a painted face, but this is even more like part of him.
Yeah.
Because especially how it is like an addition to his psyche or an extension thereof later. But as he picks up his piece of wood for friction fire and notices it's split a little bit, so he puts the tinder in the split and starts to work on it again. And then when he decides to turn towards his newly created friend and makes a joke about making a match, that's when the first billow of smoke starts to lift from his works at his fingertips, and he looks down and sees it. And so there's just like this coincidence of like making a joke with Wilson, and then suddenly,
plus it's like this moment of, I'm showing extreme frustration, and now I have this extreme relief. Like, it is this huge emotional moment that Wilson's born out of.
Yeah, sure. That's a great point.
Yeah.
And then he realizes the difference is the air has gotten to it because of the crack. The air got to it. The air got to it.
Yeah.
It's
such a Hanksy moment.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
He doubles up his lines a lot in this film. He does a lot of his lines moving forward. He says out loud twice. Maybe it's because this character is forgetting his own voice, and so to say anything, it feels good to say it again.
Interesting. Maybe saying it and then realizing it.
Yeah, he kind of says it. You're right. Like the second one is him like comprehending what he said, and having the duality of an externalized personality.
Yeah. Now it's almost like, did that come from him or did it come from me?
Yeah, or it's both.
Yeah.
It's like it is a dialogue. He's having a dialogue in which both of them are providing the two halves of his expression.
Yeah,
which is interesting.
I mean, it's amazing. Like, this is one of those things that's like in 50 years is gonna, I don't know, people aren't even gonna think about like why like funny that is, that it's like it's just a given, you know, because it works so well.
Yeah. It satisfies so much for the needs of the story.
Right.
His externalized interior monologue, somebody to share his victories with and his defeats, someone that he can just emote to, and so you
something
get
anything else other than just his head, his brain.
It's pretty incredible. It's
wild, like thinking about how much of his imagination and imaginary is like, that's everything. He looks at his picture of his wife or whatever, his fiance. He doesn't know anything about what's going on with her, but his head's filling it in. He looks at this thing and it's another person.
Wow.
Like, it's all his imagination is like pulling him through of like what could be or what, you know. It's amazing. That's really interesting.
She's with him on the island,
right? Because
he's imagining her, like you said, and the imagination. So much is of Chuck Noland. Yeah, that is pretty cool. And
agreed. Yeah,
and it's displayed in a really restrained way. It's a little bombastic with the idea
There's some jokes.
Not a lot. His best friend is a volleyball. That's one of the biggest parody is like the whole Wilson the volleyball things, and like later on when he loses Wilson, it's just like
it's an incredibly emotional moment.
It is because
they've earned it by that time. Yeah,
he's not losing his pet volleyball.
Right.
He's losing
the guy who got him through part of this journey.
Yeah, and it's part of him.
Also, they're like, hey, you saw us make you care about Chuck. Guess what? we also can make you care about the stupid volleyball.
Check that out.
We gotcha.
Yeah, gotcha. He builds a giant fire because he started a fire. He dances around it.
Yep.
When it starts to, I quote this so many times. This is one of mine that I quote all the time. Firebugs are shooting at it. The sparks are shooting at it, and he's like, "You're free," which I say all the time.
That's funny.
And I also whenever Dad and I are camping and we get the fire going, one of us goes, "Look at what I have created.
That's awesome.
I have made fire. I
have made fire. Yeah,
have made fire." So we do that to each other all the time.
That's awesome.
That's one of my favorite scenes in this movie.
That's awesome.
Because
you
it's
got one of those coming
celebratory.
up after this, which is cool.
Yeah, this week. This was such a perfect time to do this podcast
Nice.
for me.
You and your dad are gonna go be castaways.
We are. We're gonna cast ourselves away.
That's awesome.
He cooks the crab. He gives the volleyball its name, Wilson. This is when he's in his cave. He talks about his toothache. Oh, then he does the high school math. When he's starting to establish his relationship with Wilson, he charts about how far away the high school math I told you about.
500,000 miles or whatever.
Exactly, that's twice the size of Texas. Yeah. The cave's starting to feel like a home. Mm-hmm. He's got it flashes forward just a little bit, enough to show that he's been painting on the walls. Mm-hmm. He's got a really shitty charcoal drawing of Kelly.
Yeah, that's right. Yep, that he stares at or whatever. Yeah.
Based on the picture, and it comes, and he's got a wad of saltwater cloth in his mouth, and he's looking at the drawing. He says, "She's much prettier in real life," which is supposed to be sad, but it's hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah,
she's much prettier in real life than this crude cave painting I've done.
Yes.
Right? Trust me, volleyball.
This is and then he makes reference to his dentist back in Memphis of Dr. James Spaulding.
That's right. Yeah.
Which is funny. And that comes back later.
Does it?
Yes, it does.
Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, so this is the tooth extraction scene with the ice skate.
Yep.
What's your feelings on
There's
this?
two things I think about when I think about this movie, and
What's
one
that?
is the plane crash, and the other is the tooth part.
Yeah.
The main thing I think about is the plane crash because it's so visceral.
It is.
But yeah, the tooth part, that's pretty intense too.
It is.
Takes an ice skate and just extracts the tooth. Kind of brute force
with a rock. Yeah. And then the sound design team decided that they didn't want any sort of sound of the metal hitting the tooth. It's all rock to metal, and then the spray of the blood.
Gotcha.
And that's all that they really needed.
Oh yeah.
And then he gets kind of knocked unconscious from the shock of it, and then it fades out.
And you have one of the most impactful transitions in a movie.
Yes.
Yeah. Amazing. Hello, this is Andy. Thanks for listening to part 1 of our Castaway episode. We're going to try something different this time, and I'm going to split it into 2 episodes. So if you want to find out what happens to Chuck after his ice skate tooth surgery, I'll be posting the part 2 next week. Thanks for listening to Rekindling Our Bonds, and don't forget to live your life to the fullest, because you never know when you might be in a plane crash and stranded on a desert island. Bye.